Thank you, Mr. President. As with many things here, Senator Limmer beat me to the punch on one of these issues and talked about the constitutionality under our single subject provision in our state constitution. And normally I'm standing up talking about constitutional provisions. Senator Limmer beat me to that. And whether or not this will be deemed unconstitutional, I guess will be for the courts to decide. I do know that the Supreme Court has utterly abdicated its responsibility to uphold the state constitution on this issue. The state Supreme Court has utterly failed on this issue. Under no world is this a single subject. That's just laughable on its face. And hopefully at some point the Supreme Court will stand up and assert itself to properly interpret our state constitution. But I'm going to focus a little bit beyond the constitutionality on the policy of this. We have in this bill completely different subjects: access to 340B drug program, Minnesota Renewable Development Account, partial nuclear moratorium amendment got on, appropriations to the Department of Agriculture, grants for meat cutting programs, Minnesota Consumer Data Privacy Act. None of these things have anything to do with one another. And I know that I'm new here, and people can say this is the way it's always been done, and both parties have done this. That may be true. But Mr. President, this is wrong. This does not lead to transparency and accountability. There are several reasons for me to vote yes on this bill and several reasons for me to vote no. And if any senator in here, if they were being honest with themselves, would say the same thing. And so when I go back to my district and somebody says, how did you vote on this or how did you vote on that? I can say I voted yes on this bill, but I really wanted to vote no, or I voted no on this bill, but I really wanted to vote yes, and I couldn't because of all these provisions in there. And the average person is left not knowing what to think, not knowing how to hold their elected officials accountable. And I know that when it comes to certain budgetary omnibus bills, that a certain amount of that may be necessary to make sure that all the budgets fit together for a particular agency, but there's no reason to do this. There's no reason to do this. This is completely unnecessary, and the voter doesn't care about the process in terms of why this needs to be done to get through a particular agenda. They want to know how their legislators vote. They want to know where their legislators stand. This bill makes that impossible. And so I know that I'm not going to change anything with this speech, and I'm not going to continue to belabor the point, Mr. President. But I would hope that we all take a look at ourselves and at least minimize what we're doing here and how we make laws in this chamber. This is embarrassing. It's unconstitutional and it's wrong. And for that reason alone, I would encourage members to vote no.